Adam's Retro Film Reviews. Guest House Paradiso, 1999.
Good morning, good morning!
Morning.
I am, in fact, a qualified gynecologist. Well, strictly speaking, I'm an amateur, but I'm bloody keen.
Oh, here's a pencil!
I think I'll have the fish.
Wise choice.
Can I ask where your eggs come from?
Hens vaginas.
I shall bring your luggage up directly. Nice.
Hey, give her one for me, won't you? No, if you get too tired, don't worry, just phone now and I'll happily come up and give her one myself. I'm not joking, actually.
I'm Eddie the bellboy.
The bellboy.
That's right.
You may be aware that last week marked the 6th anniversary of Rik Mayall's death, and frankly, the world just isn't the same without him. In tribute, for my retro review this week, I've gone and watched a film that you should all see, just for the sheer ridiculousness of it all. Guest House Paradiso, a feature-length spin-off of Rik Mayall and Ade Edmondson's classic BBC comedy Bottom. Guest House Paradiso was written by the pair and directed by Ade Edmondson in his directorial debut. Like Bottom, Guest House Paradiso introduces us to Richie Twat, Thwaite, played by Rik Mayall, and Eddie, played by Ade Edmondson, as they manage Guest House Paradiso, the cheapest, worst hotel in Great Britain. So bad, in fact, that the polluted air around the hotel makes you choke, and the lack of payment forces the chef and waiter, the only two remaining members of staff, to leave, taking all the food with them. This leaves Richie and Eddie to fend for themselves, while the guests grow more and more impatient and disgusted by their host's antics as they beat, harass and abuse each other in their signature crude and incredibly funny way. Well, between Richie's spying on the newly arrived guests and antics while wearing a incredibly tight rubber lingerie set, it's hard to explain. The twist comes when famous Italian actress and sex icon Gina Carbonara, played by Ade Mayall, arrives to hide away from the dangerous criminal fiancé, Gino Bolognese, played by Vincent Cassel. You might be getting the level of humour we're talking about here. Without a chef or food and desperate to keep Gina happy, salvation lands in the road when a truck of toxic poisoned fish from a recent chemical spill at the neighbouring nuclear plant spills its load into the road and is swiftly taken in by Eddie and prepared for the guests. When this inevitably turns south, well, things escalate. And when I say escalate, I mean gallons and gallons of glowing green projectile vomit spraying across the hotel. Guest House Paradiso isn't a film you'll be presenting any awards to. It just isn't even a film you'd probably introduce to a significant other, but like Bottom before it, it's bawdy, lowbrow humour at its finest. Where Guest House Paradiso works is the endless capers and accidental horrific injuries inflicted on and by Richie and Eddie. In fact, I'd go far to say that the ending is the weakest bit, if not the messiest and grossest part. Where the joy comes is from Eddie and Richie beating each other with massive jugs and the accompanying Looney Tunes Foley work that comes with it. Bizarrely, there's also several references to classic comedy. One gag around having dinner undressed is almost identical to a similar gag by Laurel and Hardy. Even some of the sound effects are lifted from classic films such as Mr. Hewlett's Holiday, presumably huge influences on both Rik and Ade. Overall, if you like crude humour, and if you enjoy mindless violence, and if you're in the mood for something ridiculous, watch Guest House Paradiso. It'll have you laughing out loud. It's also on Netflix right now, although be warned, the version on there is bad.
What happened to you?
Candle in the eye!
Righto.